Let's begin with our next client today, Scott. Just inviting Scott's guides, his angels, to join us now. And please let me know when you're ready to proceed.
We're ready.
Wonderful. So let's begin with a body scan for Scott, just scanning through his body. And please let me know if there's any areas we need to address for him today.
His mind, his voice, a little in the gut.
And what do you see happening in the mind?
He is a thinker. He is an analyzer. He is trying to make sense of this dimension. He wants to know how it all works, how it fits together with the other dimensions. He is feeling himself within the dimension and analyzing that as well. He is looking around to the other beings and watching their behavior, trying to understand how they are relating to this dimension differently than he is. It's interesting to him. He is just processing, thinking about it. It's a lot of thought energy.
And is there anything that he needs to do with all of those thoughts? Is that just normal for him or anything that would help him to be aware of?
It is not bad. It is just who he is. He is enjoying having a lifetime on earth, for he has waited for a long time to be here. He was given an opportunity at this time because of who he is. He is excited to be here to do the job. He is excited to get to fully experience the third dimension, for he has never experienced it much before in this transitional energy. It is a gift he feels to be here through this experience.
Wonderful. And what's happening with the voice?
He is keeping quiet. He is not telling others much about what he knows. He knows a lot. He holds a lot of wisdom, and yet he is not very open with sharing this information, for he is afraid of how others will perceive it. So he keeps it to himself unless he knows that he is in good company. Yes, it is a learned trait from Earth that he is following.
What do you see happening in the gut?
He is ready to move on. He is ready to expand his power. He is ready for the tables to turn. So he may be of service in big ways. It is so close. He is waiting for the shift for those who will be reaching out to him. He is getting his power ready. He is getting ready. He is building his fire, so to speak, to stay strong through the turbulence ahead. He is going to be there for others to hold, for them to find a steady ground. He is going to be the steady ground for others around him at the time, and he is preparing his solar plexus power source to be prepared. It is like a backup generator. He is preparing the backup generator. So when the grid goes down from the 3D, his 5D generator is fully charged and will light up the grid with the other light workers, and it will be light again.
Wonderful. And if we could just ask his beautiful angel team to bring in some beautiful frequencies and healing energies just to help ignite and expand that solar plexus, help his mind in any way that it needs, and to tap into that voice so that he can begin to speak what he needs to speak to others.
Yes, we will do so. The angels are here to say they are happily with this child of God to help in any way that he calls for.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And who do we have with us today to bring through Scott's messages?
We are what do you call the tall whites? We wish for not to bring fear, for we are of love for this child. The Pleiadians stand beside us for support in these messages. They are here to provide the frequencies needed for translation if needed. Today, they say the angel team is here to help with the heart. They are happy to be of service today.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for being here with us today for Scott. So let's get started with his questions. He says, when I was 17 years old, I was in a serious car accident and had an NDE experience where I saw my lifeless human form a place outside of my body. I felt like someone had their hands on the shoulders of the me that was outside of my body as I waited to go back into my 3D body. It was not until several months after the NDE experience that I realized that I could not access my memories back 17 years from my birth to the date of the car accident. Can I still access these memories, or is there a reason that they've been erased? So, what can you share with him about that near death experience and also the reason that he can't access those memories?
That was not your life to live. You have come now to proceed the timelines. You were needed for the acceleration of the planet. We did this in agreement with the other soul. You were allowed to step in for that soul to finish the timeline appropriately. The Pleiadians are here to speak. Hello, Scott. We are your Pleiadian team today. We are here to speak on behalf of your, we would call it a childhood soul. Let us try to explain this a bit better for your human understandings. This is extremely hard to verbalize. We want to, we will explain it as such, and perhaps we will go back around and explain it again if clarification is needed. You are split, say split soul choice to experience two different timelines and dimensions at once. Your childhood soul was there from birth to your car accident. And from there, you had to swap with your own soul, but a different, there is not the correct word. It is not just an aspect as we have spoke of before. It is a doubling. It is a, think of it as a doppelganger. You have a doppelganger soul that needed to come through to change the timeline. Your childhood soul was not going in the correct trajectory for what was needed for the timeline of Earth. It was a swapping of your soul to another doubling copy, so to speak, of your own soul. But it is as if it is a completely different soul. It feels as such because you're, if you want to think of it like that, say you meet your doppelganger one day from a different dimension, living a different life on a different timeline, planet, existence, and you meet them and you ask them, "Do you remember my childhood?" They say, "No." "Why would I remember your childhood? I wasn't there for it, right?" It is that. It is you, but not you, the you now. You are a different frequency. You are a different parallel reality. It is you, but not you. You switched your timelines to the you, the consciousness of you now. You had a major timeline shift, and it was large. Many timeline shifts we do not get to experience as abrupt. It is tiny, it is little, and so therefore you don't see it, feel it, recognize it. You feel your life has changed a bit, but it kind of glides together. In your case, it was a sudden stop and shifting of realities with your other you. Does that make sense, Heather?
Yes, it does. So when the souls change place, the one that was here in the early years, does that soul continue on in a parallel life, or does that soul go back to where the new soul comes from, or reintegrates back in the whole of the soul? How does that work?
Yes, it, that timeline in which the doppelganger, I'm calling it, that's probably not correct, just for a picture, where they came from, that timeline ceases to exist. It is no longer in reality, so it is dissipated. And the soul aspect, not aspect, but the soul energy is distributed through the life force of the other realities of your soul. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think so. This is so fascinating how this works. Okay, so let's just move on to his next question. He says, something strange happened to me about 6 months ago in the form of a dream or vision where I was taken as a 3 or 4 year old boy to the interior of what appeared to be a disc shaped craft, where I walked into a dark room that did not appear to have any walls toward a circle of light with 5 or 6 tall, bluish gray beings standing and waiting for me. Can you explain what this was all about? Who these beings were? And what does he need to know about this dream or vision?
It is a remembrance of who you are. You are awakening rapidly now for this ascension. You are having glimpses of the remembrance of your soul and of your soul family who is here to help you on this journey. We are here with you now. We do come to visit all of the time. We do not leave the Earth's atmosphere, if you want to call it that, at this time. We are in position. You feel us, you feel your home, you feel your soul family pulling on you. And this vision, dream, you call it, is a remembering, not a dream. It is stored in your mind, brain of that physical vessel as we have taken you physically up to our craft, as you call it, on many occasions to fine tune you so you will be ready. You need to be adapted to Earth appropriately so that when the time comes, you will not be affected in any physical way, for you are the one they will look to for help. You cannot be affected when it comes, for that would defeat the purpose of you coming. You are a shield for those around you. You need to be tuned as timelines shift so that we may appropriately get your vessel ready for the ascension of the earth.
And is there anything that his guides would like to share with him today about his role as we move towards the ascension? Anything that he needs to know?
He is lucky, you could say, for he does not need to do much to be prepared. He is prepared in and of himself, staying strong to his knowings, to his beliefs, staying out of the third dimensional lies, manipulations, staying in the knowing that we are here, that we are real, that this is not a dream, this is happening, is what he needs to focus on in order to allow everything to stay on track. He is a timeline keeper. This is why he was shifted quickly at 17. He has also shifted other timelines quickly for Earth. He has done it as a sacrifice of his own existence and reality in order for the timelines to shift accordingly. It is important for him to keep his soul in alignment with his mission in order for the timelines to stay on track. It is a large job, will take sacrifice at times, for his life may seem a little more jumbled than others' lives. Others' lives will look smooth, will look like they don't have bumps in the road or big turns. His life will feel as though he's had some sudden jerks or turns where something really threw him and he felt different after. That is the sacrifice of a timeline keeper. He is important for the trajectory. He is more important than we can express. This job is not for the weary of souls. We need him to keep his light on, to keep his head up, and to keep looking forward so that he may not get distracted and get pulled off course. For if he gets pulled off course, he will have to interject again with his own trajectory and change his own path quickly. This will mean he will need to switch out again. Does that make sense?
Yes. So just to clarify, there may be another, would that be another soul split in the same way that it happened the first time?
That is correct.
And can you share with him if he will have to go through the type of experience that he had before, or will it be different?
If he can stay the course that he is currently on, eyes wide open, ears open, listening, perceiving truth for what it is and not being manipulated by the third dimensional frequency that is trying to change the trajectory of Earth, that he will not have to split again. If he gets veered off course by the lies, the deception, the fear, the doubt that the third dimension is trying to impose, he will have another event that will allow him to switch course quickly for Earth to continue the most positive and highest timeline.
Very good. Thank you for that. So I connected with Scott during one of our Tuesday Talks lives where he was asking some questions that we mentioned that he could be a walk-in soul, which that has been verified now. So his question, since sort of beginning to think about that and try to uncover that information, he says, I've been having a really tough time in my life over the past 2 years, feeling like I do not belong or fit into my current life anymore. I feel as though I'm lost and I no longer know the people in my immediate and extended family. So let's start there with this question. Can you help him to understand why this has been happening to him over the last 2 years?
Hello, Scott. We are your angel team. We would like to step in to help bring this information through in a little bit different way. We feel your human side. We feel your heart. We feel the loss of connection that you once had. And first, we want to say we are sorry for this. It is very difficult time to be here, but it is also a very exciting time as well. So it is a push-pull that everyone is feeling. There's excitement up ahead, but sitting in the now is very hard because it doesn't look like it used to. We just want to say that what you are feeling is very normal for who you are. First, you need to remember that you are not home right now. You are a visitor. You are here just to help. You are here for the sole mission of helping, and then you get to go home. So, even though a lot of your life you have felt like you are home here, you have made this your home. You have connected with other beings and other souls, and you have created a beautiful life and home for yourself with these relationships. You are coming to awaken quickly. You are awakening so quickly that there is a large disconnect from what was. It is it is not a negative thing. We want you to change your perspective a bit. And though you may feel a bit lonely or feel like an outsider, you need to know that you are right on track, that you are opening up quickly, that you are moving forward in frequency very fast. And you have to do this to be the leader. You have to do this to pave the way for the others. They will come quickly. Don't you worry. You feel alone right now, and you look around and you say, I don't feel like there are many others like me right now. Where are they? Am I the strange one? Is there something wrong with me? No, Scott, you are doing beautifully. You are just ahead of everyone. You are very far ahead, but that is on purpose. They need to know that there's something ahead. They need to know that there's someone to follow. They need to see you. They need you up ahead. They don't need you in their dimension now, for you would not be helpful in awakening them. But we do ask that you speak up a little bit more. We know this is not that comfortable for you, and that you've been taught through your life that if you speak of some of these things that we speak of so easily here, that you will sound crazy, that people will think you've lost it. But you need to realize that deep down, all of those souls know the truth, and they all know that this is truth, and that there are many, many beings from other places, not just Earth, and that life exists everywhere. It's all that is, it's everywhere. And that Earth is going through an enormous shift. And that is something that is not, cannot be denied at this time by anyone on the planet. Ask a single soul on the planet if they feel a shift, a change occurring. They will all say yes. And though they may not have the understanding or knowing of what that is, they are all perceiving it. They are. So we ask that you can help them a little bit more with your voice. Open up just a little bit more and help to connect them to that next dimension. so that they can expand and they can rise up and meet you. And then you won't have to be so lonely anymore. We will give you the courage to do so. It is okay to feel this way. Allow yourself to be okay in this energy. There's nothing wrong. You are just ahead of the group. They will catch up. You will see.
Very good. And so he just had one little extra part of that question. If my current soul is a walk in, during what life event or trauma did this happen? But there was no trauma or event. It was simply being on a different trajectory, was what needed to happen. Is that correct?
That is right.
Okay, very good. Just wanted to verify that for him. Okay. Question number 4, he says, when I was younger, I was told I had psychic and spiritual gifts such as astral travel, clairvoyance, auto writing, remote viewing, just to name a few. But since my memory loss after my NDE at the age of 17, I have not been able to access my gifts or speak to my spirit guides and angels. How can I reconnect with my angels and guides while regaining access to my psychic and spiritual gifts and abilities?
Hello, Scott. We are your Pleiadian team back again to help with this question. We are going to try to explain this for you. The the part of your soul that was your childhood was strongly Pleiadian. This is very confusing to some. We apologize. The soul that you are now to carry on this timeline is strongly a tall white. These are different qualities, different gifts, different talents. It is not something you lost. It is something that was a part of who your soul was in your childhood versus now. This was on purpose. You needed to come in now with the qualities of the star race of the tall whites. They show us they are here for the timeline keeping. It was time for you to access your abilities to shift timelines, not just for yourself. You need to understand that most souls only shift timelines for their own experience. That has a small impact on those around them. It's a ripple, but small. You have the ability to shift the trajectory of a large aspect of Earth. This is hard for us to describe. The Earth is a soul. She needs help to shift her own timeline to allow for the ascension to occur. She had sent out a communication across the galaxies to ask for help in the shifting, for she shows us that she was paralyzed by the forces keeping her stuck. They did this not only to the souls, but they show us they did it to Earth herself, for she is a soul. The calling went out. It was time. There needed to be more power to shift the timeline. You were called on. The you that holds the gift of the timelines was with the tall whites, they show us. So therefore, you needed to intervene, to interject your soul and switch with your soul from Pleiades. We want to apologize for feeling as though you have lost something, for you have given the planet a gift beyond measure. You have given humanity a gift that they can never repay you for. You have sacrificed your own abilities in a way. You had sacrificed, we see, in many ways to allow this to occur. You need to know that perhaps you had lost. If you want to think of that, they are not lost. They are within you. They are with you now. You hold the aspect gifts, if you want to call it that, from your childhood soul. It is with you. It has been redistributed, redispersed. You hold that aspect within you now, but it is not your most prominent or forward leading aspect, so to speak, because of what you sacrificed to allow for others. So we want to say you still carry this energy of the Pleiades with you now. You are that. It is you. So we want you to have the knowing that it is available for you to access if you wish. It just needs to be pulled to the forefront, for you are not used to working with it in your current state of soul being.
Is there anything that the guides can do to help him bring those gifts to the forefront? Or does he need to do that on his own?
Hello, Scott. We are your angel team again. We are going to try to describe this a little bit easier for your human mind to understand. The Pleiadians and the tall whites together show us that it is a remembering. They show us it's like this. I'll give you an analogy. So say you've been really busy at work and you have been working and working and working, and your mindset has been very serious because you know that there's a lot of work to do. And so you've had your head down and you've been working. And then one day you sit there and you think, I remember when I used to have so much fun. I remember when I used to laugh and I used to really enjoy life, and I could breathe and I would laugh and I would connect. And you have that remembrance. And then you just feel stuck in your seriousness from all of the work you've had to do. And you have made the decision, they show us. You say, you know what? I've done a lot of hard work. I've kept my head down. I've done my job really well. And I think it's time for me to reconnect with that other part of me. The part of me that's lighthearted, the part of me that breathes, relaxes, laughs, is funny, has a good time, loves adventure. And you slowly allow that seriousness, that heaviness of all the work you've done to lift off your shoulders. And you allow your soul to lighten up and breathe and smile. And you allow yourself to laugh. It is that. It is the allowing of those gifts to come through again. For you have been busy, you have been working hard, and now you remember. You say, I remember. I feel like I knew that I could do that, or I remember someone telling me I could do that. And now you are given the opportunity to experience it through yourself once again. It is an allowing. It is not something they need to give you, for it is always within you. It is something that you get to uncover within yourself. It is smiling again and laughing. And you go, oh, yeah, I like that. I feel that. I know I can do that. But you do it in these ways that you wish to perceive the world to have. So you play with it. You have fun. You shift your energy or shift your mind, and you say, I'm going to connect with my guides today. Let me tap in and see what they have to say. And you start to play with it and listen and smile and enjoy it. Be a kid again. This will allow you to connect with that energy of who you are. Does that help you?
Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, his next question, he says, a few weeks before my dad passed away, he said a couple of things to me that I did not fully understand. One thing he said was, don't worry about the bad things that are happening to you. I will make things right. What did my dad mean by what he said? I will make things right. What can you share with him about that?
We are trying to ask your father to paint us a picture. He shows us that he was able to have the knowing that this is all a movie, a projection, a play, however you would like to describe it. That, quote, real life, he shows us, is your eternal life, your soul. These are just plays with actors and characters that you've chosen. The soul is what he saw. He shows us that he was able to see this very large perspective, and he was able to see that it's not hard to change it. He was shown the glimpse that all of the things that we perceive as bad happening in our lives are happening because of what we are drawing towards us. It is energy. He could see that it was all energy, that it was something that could be changed easily. He realized the hardships were not what he thought they were when he was alive. He could see that in those moments. He had the clarity. It was like the veil was lifted, so he could get a better understanding of here and there at the same time. He wanted you to know that he could help. He could help now when he transitioned. He could help, he could see with anything that you would need help with. And he could help better from that side than this side. For on this side, there is the illusion. And on that side, he is free to see it all, to see that it is all energy, that anything and everything can be changed quickly when you have the knowing. He wanted you to know that he could help and that he will help and he is helping. He doesn't want you to fear, for nothing is bad. He wanted to give you the gift of knowing that he would be able to be there to help in the experiences of your life. He was hoping that that would be a gift to your soul. And he has been there, he said, to fulfill his promise, and he loves you.
Wonderful. Are there any final messages for Scott today?
We are so honored, Scott, for you to be here at this time on this planet to help bring about the ascension for all. We want you to really feel that for a minute, really feel what that means to so many souls. You are a beautiful, beautiful gift, and you have done wonderfully in your mission, and we are so proud of you. We cannot thank you enough for coming on this journey bravely to do things that you had never even imagined that you could do. And we are so excited for what you are gearing up for. We are so excited to be there with you when it all transitions. For you will be one of the souls that cheers the loudest because it took a lot of effort and selflessness on your soul's behalf to allow this to come to fruition. And we cannot wait for that moment in time. It will be a moment that no one forgets. We are here with you, and so is your team. Please never, ever forget that. The Pleiadians, the Whites, us, and many more are watching you, are supporting you, are giving you the energy, support, and love that you need. And if you feel like you are in need of anything at all, please know that you have a very large team waiting on the sideline to be called in at any moment. We are all here to help you so you can accomplish this mission. So please never forget that you have a team to work with, a team to call in. You are never, ever, ever alone. You are watched more than you know. They laugh. They say, "We are watching you always." They think that's funny. And we want you to know that you can call on us for anything that you may need, and we will swoop in and help you. We promise you that. So breathe, smile, and know that you are on the perfect trajectory, timeline, and state of being to bring us all home. We love you, Scott.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all of those messages for Scott. Allow his guides to receive with so much love and gratitude for the information that you've shared today.